Yo, 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 what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host of the most Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams once again for another edition of the Raw Rewind presented to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And it's not just me here in the yard of streams. We got, as always, the best of the West you can't forget about. Sara Marshall, what's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
How we doing?
Fine.
Fucking incredible. I mean, isn't it? It's football's back.
Yeah.
All right, football's back. And the Pats won yesterday. I only bring this up because you got your Pats hat on. All right,
on
Sunday, and shirt. You look at the shirt right there.
Oh, yeah.
You got your shirt.
Yep.
Patriots
Gotta
won.
represent BB.
I mean, yeah. All right.
And my guys played really well. Okay.
That was the best Patriots game I've watched in 2 years. It was unbelievable how well, not the offense, possibly, but the defense was so good.
Special teams
were incredible. And my dad was saying this. I didn't pick up on it. Might have been just Sunday, red zone, whatnot. But the offensive line, not terrible.
They didn't allow a sack.
No sacks.
It was 4 hits, I think, was all it was.
And I think Burrow got hit 8 times. What it was?
Yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah.
I think I heard that on the radio.
Much better than anyone was expecting. Oh no, is it me or is it you? Hello?
What was the last thing you heard me say?
You were agreeing with me about...
You're frozen now, I think.
Hello?
What happened here?
Hold on. I'll come back.
All right. What is happening? I don't like this. All right. Well, Sara goes... Oh, this is a terrible visual. This is a weird visual. All right. Let's... There we go. Hi, what's poppin'? Hey. Oh, she's back. All right. There it is. All right. A little nonsense to start the show, but hey, who doesn't love a little shenanigans? With that, I feel like we need to take this over to the peeps. Nathaniel was popping. David was popping. Nathaniel, I would love to see this. After last night, we're gonna get to that because I don't want to spoil everything right now. But that segment was one of the best Gunther segments I've seen. It was awesome. So he was great. Patriots are great. We got football here. We watched Raw last night. Shit's cooking in WWE, Sara.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about this first because anyway, so this was something that the WWE announced on social media during the show that Raw will be going to 2 hours starting on October 7th until they debut on Netflix in January. And there were a lot of reactions to this. I would say mostly not good reactions. I think the biggest question is because I'm not a fan of this either. But I think the biggest question of all is there was no explanation given as to why this was happening. That I think is what makes it that much more confusing. Is like we weren't told why they were going down to 2 hours, and so there's a lot of speculation about what that could mean, if it's maybe preparing for Netflix. But then there was news that came out this morning saying no, when Raw goes to Netflix, it's going to be 3 hours. So it's really weird. But
it has to do with money. That's initially my gut telling me.
But what
this has to do with money? It has to do with some sort of programming or whatnot with the networks. and not a WWE problem, because it's so out of pocket for them to just randomly do it. And I haven't seen anything yet if they're going to, or if they're not going to go back to 3 hours,
That's what I
once
just
this is
said.
all. No, I'm saying I
Oh,
know.
I'm just
That's
telling
what,
you, I think it was Pro Wrestling
no.
Insider that said that they are going back to 3 hours.
Yeah, doesn't matter if it is or is not, is my point. What this is going to show us is how jam-packed these shows are going to be with the talent that they have. Like, that's what's, to me, is going to be interesting.
See, but my problem is that that means a lot of people are going to be off TV every week. And I think that's an issue because, I mentioned this on Twitter, and people were coming back and being like, well, that just means that you need to try harder to get on TV. And I'm like, but no, that's not a thing though, because there are plenty of people who should be on television that aren't. And it's not because they're not good or they're not, fans don't care about them or something. It's like, yeah, they only have so much time to put so many people on TV. And so people are inevitably going to be left off. But that's happening with 3 hours already.
Yeah.
Imagine what's going to happen when they cut an entire hour. That means even more people are going to be cut. So it's like, that is a concern for me, because I think the whole point of them going to 3 hours when they did was because they were starting to have rosters that were packed with so much talent that they needed to have an extra hour so that they could feature more people. And that was how many years ago? It's even worse now. Like, there's so many more
There's so
people
much more
on
talent.
that Raw roster, because
But
if you even look at the Raw roster compared to SmackDown, obviously Raw is more packed than SmackDown, because SmackDown's 2 hours, Raw's 3. So now it's like, now what are they going to do, and how are they going to bring up people from NXT? Like, what is that going to do? I mean, granted, from what we know, this is only going on until they debut on Netflix. I mean, that's as far as what they're saying, at least right now. But what if it is that it stays at 2 hours when they go to Netflix? Like, to me, this is just creating more problems. But
here's the thing: every wrestling show right now is 2 hours. Even 2 out of the 3 shows under the WWE umbrella are 2 hours. If you look at the competition, TNA is 2 hours, AEW is 2 hours. Like, all wrestling shows are 2 hours. So maybe this has to do with more of the network pushing it rather than WWE.
But I just don't know why the network would be doing that when they've been having 3-hour Raws for years. So why now all of a sudden? That's what I'm saying. Like, the contract is expiring at the end of the year. Why are you doing it now? Like, what's so significant about, the final
Network
2-3 months?
Networks, so USA last 3 months, right? October. They definitely have deals cooking that have to do with major sports that are throwing way more money at them.
I don't know. We'll see.
That is my.
I see that there are some people that are excited about it. Like, Mr. Anderson is happy about it going back to 2 hours. And I've seen people saying this. And I understand the argument to an extent, because, yeah, a lot of the time when it is 3 hours, there are segments that it's like, why did that happen? Or why did that match happen? Like, there's going to be like a ton of commercials to fill the 3 hours. But we know that commercials are going to still be a part of Raw when it moves to Netflix, but they're not going to have like 6-minute commercials the way that they do now on TV, because they don't have to. And they can also focus the commercials around, some advertisers, but they're probably going to be mostly around promoting their own stuff. So,
it's going to be exactly what you see on Peacock already.
Yeah, so like cutting it down to like 2 hours in that type of format, okay, that makes more sense. But there was also, I think it was PWI that said it, that they're going to be going back to 3. However, they're going to be able to be more flexible with like every episode, because like, maybe this week it's 2.5 hours and next week is 3. I think they just have to be careful, because I mean, I guess it would depend, but like, if you bought a ticket to Raw between October 7th and January whatever, you were expecting a 3-hour show, I assume. Wouldn't they kind of be upset. There's going to be people who are upset about that. I know I would be if I paid a ton of money thinking I was going to get a 3-hour Raw. Now I'm getting a whole hour docked. I don't know. They'll have to be.
It's the beauty of pro wrestling. I'm very excited to see. Nathaniel, it was 2 hours
It
when
used
it
to be.
initially debuted in 93, and then they went to 3 hours. Okay, this might be a coincidence, so please fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure the 3 hours was the 1000th Raw. Was
I
like that
honestly
was the debut of 3 hours. You'd have to check me on that, but that seems right in my
on
head.
May 17th, 2012. Yep, it was the 1000th episode. So yeah,
See,
so
this is
it's
why
been
I have this. Come
it's
on.
been almost 13 years of it being 3 hours.
So that's what and it's exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on to
There's
actual
no thing. Yes, let's
Raw.
talk about this, please.
So they announced beforehand, which what I think is funny about this, right? Okay, so we knew that the street match was going to open the show. They let us know that.
Yeah.
What
good.
I thought was funny though was the graphics that they were using to promote this match was not accurate at all. And you knew it anyway, right? Because they didn't have Nikki Cross shown in the picture, but they had Ivy Nile. And then they had Uncle Howdy in the promo, but then he wasn't in the match. It was like, really, guys, who is making these graphics? Because like I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. But
no, we know what we're doing. We know that's you can't. That's so funny.
So
that's brilliant. I mean, I get why they didn't do it. You can't put. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so so we see American Made, which is definitely going full on We're American, which I'm telling you, they're like one step away from being We the People. I'm telling you, that's how it's coming off.
I'm seeing like Team Angle, but way more patriotic. Like it's more about patriotism than Kurt Angle.
I don't know.
That's where my mind's going.
And the entire group of the Wyatt Six come out with Uncle Howdy sitting in the rocking chair. So he was there to watch the match. And this match started off very chaotic. I think it was expected because there were so many people involved in the match, and there was just like the camera didn't know where to go or who to watch, because obviously there's 8 people in the match, so there's so much action that you have to try to catch. But my God, this match, I don't care that it just stayed around the ring, because we were saying like, what if it went to the parking lot? What if it did this? I don't care that it stayed in there.
I texted you. They destroyed the ringside. It's the first match.
But what I loved the most was, there's a lot, but one of the things I loved the most was Nikki Cross. Thank God, because that girl can kick ass, and she has not really had a lot of opportunities to show how good she really is, because she's either been, given stupid gimmicks like Nikki ASH, or she's been crazy and like just doing wild things.
Sorry. No. I thought you meant sanity. No, what you're saying.
No. I'm saying when she was just like around or whatever. So she hasn't been able to really like show what she can do. The fact that she German suplex Chad Gable, girl,
incredible.
What?
No, I just got told dinner's ready, but okay.
And I don't know, she did a bunch of really cool stuff in this match, so I was happy for her. Eric Rowan took over the match at one point, which I was totally here for. I loved that. And Joe Gacy, incredible. Dexter Lumis, incredible. I have nothing bad to say about the Wyatt Six. Absolutely.
Dexter Lumis is my favorite member.
He's so cool.
His presentation is outstanding.
It's insane because when we thought about, okay, when the rumor was saying, okay, who's going to be in the Wyatt group, we heard of who it was, and it was like, okay, Dexter's going to be one of them. And we were like, okay, like that's cool. But we said, okay, he's going to change his look, obviously, because it doesn't really fit what we assumed the new Wyatt group was going to be. I did not anticipate him having extension dreads, like doing everything that he's doing, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I just think that he looks so cool.
He looked insane. And then
And
the whole thing. Yeah, what?
I was just, well, go ahead. You haven't
No,
really said
go.
anything. I was just gonna say the match was good. Like, the match was cool, and I think that the Wyatt Six deserved to win.
They
And
deserve to
now
win.
it's
I
over.
love that. It's finally over. I like that Loomis got the pin. You know, because it doesn't mean anything. You know, like there's no
Mm-hmm.
deeper meaning to why he would get the pin over, say like Gacy or something. Like it just ends it. Like it's gonna send American Made on a path of destruction, wanting to get revenge and whatnot. And then the Wyatt Six are just going to float amongst the ether of the universe and just kind of peck and just see what happens. Like there's so many possibilities with the Wyatt Six that you're interested. You're not trying to really predict and saying, "Oh, if it's not this, I'm out. I'm not gonna be into it." You're like, you know what? Fuck it. Throw me a random feud with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Jey Uso comes to mind. Like, why? I like
Did,
what?
okay, so did Tessator mention that, or is that just like a fan that mentioned it? Because like the streamer I was watching, who was watching Raw, started talking about it, and I was like, did I miss Tessator saying it, or was it just a
No,
fan?
initially, no. It's kind of deeper and back to why you need to pay attention to every little detail. Um, Gable and Jay, main event Jey Uso, were going back of like how he first came out, like when first debuted and chose Gable as his target essentially. Jey Uso was in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and Jey Uso, I mean, you saw the memes too. Like he's fled the scene
Yeah.
immediatamente, and then even in backstage interviews with Jackie Redmond, Kathy Kelly, he's saying how they can have the Fireflies back because they're using that. Like there's connections there where you could connect some dots, and I'm just interested because what else is Jey Uso doing after he loses to Braun Breaker? Like why not?
Well, I knew all that. I just meant like I didn't know if I missed it, like because when I have to watch a streamer who streams Raw to be able to watch it live and they don't stop talking, I can't always hear commentary. So I didn't know if someone actually mentioned it or if it was somebody in the chat that said it, and that's why he was talking about it. I was like, did I miss something?
Seen it a lot on Twitter, like more on
Oh
social
yeah.
media, way
But
more
the
on social
thing
media than
is,
Tessitors.
though, is like I don't think it makes any sense right now, because if they're still trying to make the Wyatt Six like a babyface group, basically, then they're not going to go after Jey Uso, who left the bloodline because of how they were treating him. Like, he didn't really turn on his family. If anything, they would want to go after Roman Reigns. Like, he would be more so about the one who fit that level of like what Chad Gable was doing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
and
but
that's not happening.
their next thing could be as deep as that, or it could be something very trivial
I just
where
still
someone
don't.
just feels guilt.
Well, yeah, but I still
know,
just don't think it's Jey Uso is all I mean. I don't think they'll do that.
I've seen
Not if they're
crazier
trying to
things.
continue to build them up as a good group. I don't see that.
I don't think they are not. They do good at all costs.
I don't know.
At all costs.
Then we finally see Finn Balor make more of an impact, because they really just don't want anyone to remember that Finn Balor is around. I feel like
He was the sidekick. They were making him feel like the sidekick.
It's all about the Terror Twins, because apparently that's all that
What's
people
a
care
tail?
about.
Holy shit, that just scared me.
Oh my god. Okay. So he comes out, and as much as I love that he officially challenged Damian Priest, I can't deal with babyface Damian Priest. I just can't do it. As much as I love it, I don't love how it came about, because to me it felt very forced. It's like we all had been sitting here talking about how what's going to happen at Bad Blood. We know we're going to get Drew Punk. We know we're going to get Liv Rhea. We believed that we were going to get Finn Damian, and they just didn't do anything for that to make sense. They didn't do anything at Bash in Berlin to like easily set that up the way that they did other things. And so this felt just like really random to me. Like, he just comes out and he's like, oh yeah, you can't run for me, and it's like, well, technically, Finn, you were running from him, so like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it just
But
felt like very over the
yeah,
head,
it just
obvious.
felt like we need to make this official now.
Yeah.
And then they just like threw him out there to do it. And so I kind of hated that because I was like, I feel like this feud could be so good that it deserves more care in the story, that shouldn't have felt that way. You know what I mean?
I do, but it's also the first match that they're gonna have in, one-on-one together against each other. So this could be something that goes at least two rounds where there is a reason. And why not? What else is Finn doing? Maybe
No,
have
I
Finn Damien cost them the title at some point, the tag titles at some point.
I mean,
That needs to happen soon.
I like this because of what happened at, SummerSlam and Bash in Berlin or whatever. I just didn't like how it came about. I also don't like the idea of Finn losing.
Well, obviously you don't.
Well, but I also think it's ridiculous. How many more wins does Damian Priest need? Let's be real. Finn can't be I'm sorry. Finn is too talented.
You do make a good point, though.
Finn is too talented to be continuously taking pins for people. Like, he's not gonna. There's a reason why people don't take him seriously. Like, especially now in this new formed Judgment Day. Like, if he loses to Damian over and over and over again or whatever, like, no one's gonna think that he's an actual threat to Damian. So it's like Finn can't keep losing. You already buried the fucking demon. Like, he can't just keep doing that.
You're right. I will give you that. He does need to win. They did a good job with him last night. As awkward as it was, though, as awkward as it was,
the ending.
It was just like him coming out like,
oh, I thought you meant the match. Sorry. Yeah.
No. Like that was very good.
Yeah.
Because it gave him time on screen. He obviously showcased that the dude just can handle himself in that type of environment and should be thrown in that environment more.
Yeah.
I was a fan of it. Yeah, I felt awkward, but because I'm someone who needs, just tell me the answer. Like, we're talking about it. Just make it official. We don't care how you do it. They took that advice and ran with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to believe that they're gonna do better by Finn because it's like this guy was such a star in Japan. Like, you can't be treating him like he's like this mid-carder. He can't talk, he can't wrestle, no one cares, blah blah blah. No, you have him as a heel finally. You have the chance to allow him to thrive and be like one of the top heels in the company, and yet you're like, no, you need to take a pin to Damian because everyone loves Damian. Like, stop it right now.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
And yes, Nathaniel, I am still mad that Edge beat Demon Finn Balor. Yeah, because it was ridiculous. He should not have beaten Finn at Mania. I'm sorry. Especially after he gave my mans a bunch of stitches. Okay.
Rude ass Cope.
Yeah, that was so rude. So before the end of that segment, we see that Finn is like, oh, you know how we do with the Judgment Day. There's, we always have a plan.
You know the playbook.
Everybody comes out and they just start beating him down. Then comes out Rhea and they all beat her down. And it was good. I was happy because, like I said, I haven't appreciated seeing how often the Judgment Day look like jokes and the Heritage Twins just look like dominant forces that no one can take down. Because it's like, okay, this is an unequal fight. This doesn't make any sense. But then it makes me wonder, like, what does this mean? What does this mean for the future of the Judgment Day? What does this mean for Rhea versus Liv? What does this mean for Finn versus Damian? Are we going to see? Is this a hint at anything about what's to come? I guess
more. That's what it is. A hint of. It's a hint of what. A hint that more is to come because you had them come on top. I love the spot where Damian shields over Rhea, so you know that they're going to continue the Terror Twins for quite some time now. And to me, after this, I would rather see Liv retain and Finn come. Like I want to see Judgment Day rise, pun
Yeah.
intended,
Mm-hmm.
and be a dominant faction. That's what a show needs. When you're going onto a deal like Netflix, and especially if you're only making the show 2 hours now, you need to have at least one dominant faction on your program. Judgment Day, have bar none, taken that role and ran with it, and Dom and Liv are still probably the the trending topic, top trending topic. Say that 5 times fast.
Well, and that's
In
what
the
the
wrestling
Judgment
world.
Day had been when the original Judgment Day together. It was literally like Monday Night Judgment Day. That's what it was. Every single week because they were involved in
Yeah,
everything.
everything.
And
Even stuff
then
with the
it's like
bloodline.
it's kind of fallen where like yeah, they're going to be featured throughout the entire show, but they're not considered serious anymore. Like people, there's more jokes about the new Judgment Day than anything, and that just doesn't make any sense. So and
They're
like
like the popular kids in high school. You
well,
want to
because
make
we've
fun of
talked
them.
about how Rhea and Damian are in really good spots. They don't need. I'm not saying that they shouldn't win ever against anybody in the Judgment Day. I don't mean that. But what I'm saying is like
Oh,
they
right
don't
now.
need the validation of a win for people to care, for people to cheer, for people to back them. You know, but the Judgment Day can't keep losing together or individually because people aren't going to take them seriously. And the whole point of being a heel, especially the type of heel that they're trying to make Judgment Day, is that they are taken seriously, that they are considered a threat, that they're considered dangerous and fearful, whatever. And they're not doing a great job about that right now. And so that's why it concerns me for Bad Blood, especially for Liv, because I am a little bit nervous that they're going to take the title off her. I do think that she needs to definitively win it so that people will stop saying that she can't do it, right? Because I can't even tell you how many Liv hate comments that we get on YouTube and TikTok. I can't even tell you.
Wild. How are we getting Liv hate comments? Like, are we fucking kidding right now?
They don't like that we defend her at
Why?
all. I don't know. And the thing is,
you're all
like,
jealous of her beauty.
And the thing is we don't even hate Rhea
here.
at all. We hype up Rhea. It's just we're saying I know. So that's the thing is like
the it's
way
called being down the middle.
The way they come in with these comments is as if like we're somehow putting Rhea down when we're not even talking about her. We'll be talking about Liv, and somehow it prompts them to come in and send a hate comment about her. And I'm like, but and most of the time their profile picture is Rhea, and it's like we love Rhea. We also love Liv, and we think that she's in a really good position right now and should stay there. And it has nothing to do with, Rhea sucks this. No, we feel like Rhea doesn't need the championship right now. That's all it comes down to. So, I think that it's important that she retains. Or I guess the worst case scenario, if she loses it, which I would hate, she needs to get it back. I still don't think that she needs to do the whole she needs to win the Rumble and that's how she gets back. I mean, I love the story, but we also can't do that every single year with somebody, male or female.
Yeah, I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and I forgot that Raquel is teasing again on social media about her interest in this matchup. So that's what I was saying. I really wouldn't be surprised if Raquel comes in and she's the muscle for Liv, and that we see kind of like Liv go off and do whatever with another feud, but like she's still there as Raquel is like facing off with Rhea. I could see that.
Raquel Rodriguez in Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm. I'm into
Judgment Day is just becoming the dark version of the LWO.
But the thing is like
that's just what it is.
She doesn't have to be like an official member of the Judgment Day, but like I still am into it because she was boring. There was nothing. We talked about how there was nothing interesting about Raquel other than her character was that she had a back. That was what it was. So if they can make her really kind of cool by putting her in the Judgment Day, making her a heel, I'm into it. I think that could be really good. You don't think so?
I whatever Raquel Rodriguez does is good. I'm gonna be fine with it. I just can't get over if you put Raquel now in Judgment Day. Like
We didn't say that she would
What's the
lose to Raquel. We were saying that she would lose
no, no, no,
because
because like an
of
intel,
Raquel.
like an
And
interference.
as Richard said, Rhea was out for 3 months, so let's not pretend like she's been around. But anyway. Oh, you're talking about this. Oh, Liv Morgan needs to lose to Charlotte Flair. Absolutely not, Mr. Anderson. Get out of here with that. Get out of here.
No.
She's first of all, as Richard said, she's going to SmackDown. Second of all, no, get that title as far away from Charlotte Flair as possible. It's becoming like I don't take that title seriously when Charlotte has it because it's really like, yeah, they're just trying to make her the female Ric Flair. That's what they're trying to do. She's how many title reigns that lasted 5 minutes or less?
We talk about I don't know. I go off.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to say.
Go
Moving
off.
on to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They defend their women's tag titles against the Unholy Union, and it appears that this feud is finally over, I would assume. I can't imagine that they're going to defend it against the Unholy Union again. But it was a good match. As expected, I would assume, for most people, despite the number of people who are still saying that Jade can't wrestle. Why? Why do people still say
goggles. It's called goggles. It's stupid goggles that they wear when they watch the product. I don't get it, Sarah.
It's bizarre to me. It's weird. People say the same thing about Liv. That's the comment that we get a lot. Liv can't wrestle. Yeah, that's the thing.
Then you don't watch the product. Then you don't. You're not watching.
She always botches, is what they say. I'm like, what?
No, you're not watching.
We're not watching the same show.
Well, you're not watching if you're saying that.
Yeah, so this was a great match all around. And then we see that it looks like, which is interesting to me, Damage Control have their eyes set on the tag titles again.
Oh, God.
But what is interesting is they were trying to push them as baby faces. So it's kind of like interesting because we've said that they're going to put Triple H is not against doing this in matches, but we've noticed that he's more into putting heels against heels and baby faces against baby faces because obviously, like, you don't want to split who people are supporting. You want them to root for the good guys. So putting two bad guys against each other makes it a little bit more interesting. So I'm wondering if like that's going to continue. If they have Bianca and Jade go against Damage Control. I don't care if they have them go against Damage Control. I think that'll be so good. So good.
That would be a very good match. That's how you make a tag title legitimate. Have them have a feud, not just a one-off match, feud with the Sky Pirates.
Well, and that's
because they're legit. Like they're legit. They know tag team wrestling, not only tag team wrestling, but how to make themselves into a star. They need to. I mean, let me take that back. Let me reel that back a little bit. Jade is being portrayed as a star right now, and putting these two together with Jade and the help of Bianca is only enhancing and improving her to make her a legitimate star that she would have never even got the chance to sniff over at the other elite company.
And that's why I think I liked them having these matches with the Unholy Union because it did make sense storyline wise. They did have like semi of a feud with them because they are the ones who took the tag titles off of them. So for them to have like a trilogy makes sense. And this is why I said this is why we said it made sense for them to put the tag titles back on Bianca and Jade because they're gonna put them on TV. So far they have been on Raw and SmackDown since they won the titles back. And that's the thing is like even if it seems like they're never going to lose the tag titles, right? Like I see that was being said in the chat. As much as that can kind of suck because, you know, that was the feeling we had with Roman Reigns. It was like, it doesn't matter who he faces. He's not losing. The thing that we want the most, I think, out of the women's tag team division, you could even say it the men's, but we'll talk about that another time, is you want them featured on the shows every single week. You want them to be like prioritized, like so that we remember there is a women's tag team title, you know, like that is something that started to become forgettable over the last like year or two. So at least Bianca and Jade showing up on Raw and SmackDown, you're constantly reminded that they are the tag team champions. And that means that people can go after them on both shows. They even are talking about going down to NXT They were talking about that on social media today. So that would be cool. Really good for Jade too, to get even more exposure.
It would be extremely beneficial for them to go down to NXT and do a little bit of a stint down there and defend their titles down there. And I'm Hail Mary. Maybe even an NXT team dethrones them.
I would be into that, honestly.
Maybe. Why not?
I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea to have an NXT tag team be the champions, because that I feel like they would be on NXT every single week. That's why it wouldn't have been a mistake if Katana and Kaden had won when they were in NXT. Now they're up on Raw, and they're like, I don't know if one of them's injured. I don't think so, but I have no idea. But
did Damian Priest and Katana,
no,
Caden Carter date? Or are they just like wicked?
I think they're playing it up because people think they're dating, and so whether they
just do it,
yeah, they just keep doing it. So either they are just friends, but I feel like they might be something more because they hang out a lot.
Yeah, to me, when because we've I think said on here or off camera, we saw pics of Damian and CJ
Lana.
Perry.
Yeah.
FKA
that's
Lana.
Gone. That's dead.
And apparently that's gone, obviously. I mean, obvious reasons, probably. None that need to be discussed here. I have a lot of gal pals, obviously. So to me, I don't see an issue with it. But the way they're doing it, and also I knew Caden Carter had a boyfriend at first. And like I don't see him in the picture anymore. So I like connecting dots. So when I see two unconnected things, I like to connect it. That's just how a champ goes.
I think the thing is too is that it's a bunch of TikToks that they're doing, and it's like they're at each other's houses, like they're not on the road, so it's not like, oh, they're only filming like behind the scenes at Raw, where that could be like, yeah, they're just friends. It's like, no, they're at Raw, it's on their days off, they're like in the car. It's like, so it feels like it might be more than friends, but I don't care because the TikToks, I mean, they're corny, but like
they're hilarious.
They're cute, I guess.
Damian Priest is I love him acting in it. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. Like, would you be open to doing that if she were just your friend? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't.
I would.
I don't know. Well, yeah, because you probably whatever. Anyway,
what the spotlight craves me. Yes, we know this, Sarah.
Anyway, so let's get to one of the best moments of the night, because I'm sorry, this banner doesn't lie. We literally saw Gunther become a legend in front of our eyes, as if he hadn't already been considered a legend. This solidified that in my mind, and it should be in your mind, because people predicted this. Once Bret Hart was announced to be like a special guest on Raw, people were like, Gunther's going to come out for him. And I was like, maybe, we'll see. The second that man's music hit, I was so excited because I was like, what is he going to do? What is he going to say?
I did. I was like, holy shit, here we go. I was so excited.
I was so excited because I was like, this is the latest example of definitely, I would say, of how they feel about Gunther, because they've had him go toe to toe with DX and the NWO, right? Like they've had him do something like with Imperium and stuff. So they don't just do that for anybody,
No, you have to earn your right to go toe to toe with a legend on the mic.
Yeah. And he said a bunch of stuff, but come on, the legendary thing. In case you guys don't know, because apparently there are a lot of people who legitimately believe what Gunther said is fact. Let me enlighten you. So when he was working up his way to somewhat insult Mr. Bret Hart by saying, "Oh, we all looked up to you as a kid," which first of all is a lie, because I don't even know if Gunther watched wrestling growing up, because he said that he never really wanted to be a wrestler. But he said, we all looked up to you. You're a lot of our favorites. And he's like, you know what? I wanted to tell you to your face, you are very close. You're a very close second on my list of favorites. Then he lets us know that his favorite of all time is Bill Goldberg. Now, other than that being questionable, because a lot of people are like, what? Why would he say that? Why would Goldberg be anybody's favorite?
I'm not going to lie to you, Sarah. When he said Goldberg, I laughed for a solid 5 minutes. That was the best punchline I heard in wrestling this year. Oh, like in it. if people
So-
see that, hear that, and believe that Gunther is not good on the mic, you really have to reevaluate how you're
Well,
watching the product.
Jay is in the chat saying Gunther sucks. But for
That's
those
fine.
of
I'm looking
for-
right dead into his eyes, Jay. I'm looking dead into your eyes. Reevaluate the product.
so for the people who are not aware, because I think I saw Nathaniel saying it, Bret Hart hates Goldberg. Bret Hart blames Goldberg for ending his career. They had a match. Well, let's be real. I mean, according to some people, Bret Hart came into the match with Goldberg already dealing with concussion issues. Probably shouldn't have been in the match anyway.
Maybe a kick to the head. I mean, he did literally kick
Is
him in the
Goldberg
face.
a safe worker and known for being a safe worker? Absolutely not. However, concussions happen, unfortunately, right? And if legend is true that Bret Hart was dealing with concussion issues coming into the match, then I don't know that you can really blame Goldberg for furthering that if you're already dealing with one. But anyway, so Bret Hart has like a grudge against Goldberg because of this, and he makes it very well known for the past I don't even know how many years that he can't stand the man.
It's it happened in '99, I think. So yeah, like the millennium, at the turn of the millennium.
Yeah, so that is why Gunther picked Goldberg. While I see people saying it would have been funnier if it was Shawn Michaels, no, it wouldn't have, because he already has like publicly forgave.
No, that's not funny at all.
It's
that's
not
so
funny.
Vince.
Yeah,
that is so Vince. No.
Yeah, no, it's because we know that Bret still has an issue with Goldberg.
Very public. Like,
yes,
it is.
But his issues with Shawn, we literally saw it like on Raw.
Who the hell?
Like,
he made him into a Triple H.
Yes, so that's why I'm saying it wouldn't have worked the same. But it was hilarious. This was so good. You heard he got one of the biggest pops of the night because of him saying Goldberg, because people immediately understood, and it's fine if you didn't. I'm not blaming you. It is something that happened a long time ago. And if you don't pay attention to Bret Hart or his interviews or whatever, you wouldn't have known. But it's because people immediately understood what that meant. And so it was like, hats off to Gunther, because he was almost going to laugh as he said it. Bret Hart kind of looked like he was chuckling a little bit. And so that was key. I feel like that's going to be like a highlight of the year for me. Like, if we sit back and talk about what the best of WWE was in 2024, I'm going to have that on my list.
That's got to be in the top 5. That whole segment was just done so well.
It was so good.
Sami Zayn coming down in the Johnny Gaudreau jersey.
So Sami came out to, I agree, Richard. He's a very great heel. He's come a long way. He's so good. I think that people, they don't give him enough credit. I don't care what anyone says. So Sami Zayn does come out to defend his fellow Canadian, obviously, and doing all of the corny babyface things of like pandering to the crowd and whatever. That I'm just like, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. But that is what Sami Zayn is doing right now, and that then gets Bret Hart to call Gunther a coward because, of course, he said, no, you can't face me for the title. And I'm sorry, but can you really blame Gunther for being like, no, bro? Like, you just lost the Intercontinental title and your rematch. Why would I give you a World Heavyweight title match? Okay. But so this just raised the question again. What are the interest levels in Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title? Because there's still time for this to happen at Bad Blood, as it is still 2-3 weeks away, and it would make sense. I would say
3.5. It's 2.5 weeks away.
Yeah, I would say that it would make sense given the name of the pay-per-view and their history with the Intercontinental title. However, would I be shocked if they waited to do it for the Saudi show? No, but I'm not like super interested in this. Like, if I were to pick Gunther's next opponent, would Sami Zayn be at the top of the list? No. But I think that it is more of a match that people who aren't a fan of Gunther are gonna want to see because they love Sammy, or they do feel like Sammy actually has a chance against Gunther because he's already beaten him for the Intercontinental title. So I think that would be why people were looking forward to it.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. Why this match is going to slap is because they already had a banger match at WrestleMania 40. They have very good chemistry together in the ring. You know, Sami Zayn needs to be, put into that echelon of superstars viewed as world championship material. The only way he's going to get there is to be put in these types of matches. You have
Well, this
this
would be his
history
second
already.
one
Exactly.
because he faced
He
Seth,
needs
right?
more. He
Didn't
needs
he face
more.
Seth?
No, he faced Roman at Elimination Chamber
No,
in
but didn't
Montreal.
he had a shot at the world heavyweight title, didn't he?
No,
I'm almost positive that he did.
no, he didn't.
Okay, well,
He didn't. You need to do more to legitimize him as a worthy heavyweight champion one day. The fans want to see it, maybe not right now, but they want to see it eventually. And why not rekindle this as we either have it on the Monday before Bad Blood? No, it would be on. It's a World Heavyweight Title match. It would be on. Either at Bad Blood or if you want to save it. I don't know. But I do want to see this match.
yeah, I think it'll
8
be
out
a
of
good
10.
match. Oh, see, they're saying he did it face Seth. I don't know. So take your little attitude, okay, and shove it.
What is it? Well, wait, was it on like a Raw? Oh, I'm wrong.
Yes.
Oops.
Yes.
That's tough.
Uh-oh. I think. Hello.
Figured.
Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
So anyway, yeah, I think that this will be a good match. So like, I don't care. I do think that obviously Sammy's not going to win. So again, like as a Gunther fan, I don't really care. But I do like that they're giving Gunther a storyline, like a real feud. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, oh, he's facing Damian because it's a rematch or whatever. Like at least this has a history to it, so it is a little bit more interesting than just throwing somebody new at him. So at least there's that. I do like that. Then we move on to Daddy Dom. He beats Dragon Lee with the help of Miss Liv Morgan. I am sorry. I am obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with them. They are so good. And I'm saying Daddy Dom and Liv Morgan. I'm obsessed.
Oh, you weren't talking about the LWO? I'm obsessed with them.
No.
They are awesome. Cruising through the air. Like,
what happened to Cruz del Toro's
can we
beard?
Yeah, all right. In the words of Trick Mellow Gang, let's talk about it. Because Sarah, I had this exact same thought while watching. I actually verbalized, who the hell is that man behind the LWO? And I was like, holy shit, it's one of them.
I didn't notice it until I don't know if it was Wade or Tess that mentioned it, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't even notice," because like I wasn't super paying attention when they came out, and then I was like, "Oh my god!" It took me a second to be like, "Oh my god, he shaved his beard." I mean, men do it all the time. I was just kind of surprised.
I shaved today.
Drastic change, but I was more also shocked about Dragon Lee's voice. I didn't imagine it that way, but. That's different. But anyway,
I don't think we've heard Dragon Lee cut a promo.
Yeah, but he kind of did on Raw.
It was solid. It was good.
Yeah. I just was
good. It was a great
baby
underdog.
Face.
Yeah, it was a great underdog promo. Like, good job.
Yeah.
Nothing that like getting me tingling in the loins, but do you?
Okay, Wade. Also, speaking of, that reminds me, did you notice that Gunther called him Stu?
I did.
I noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute, Walter."
I think all the Euro dudes just they got it in.
It took me a second when I heard him say that. I was like, "Is he talking about the cameraman?" And then I was like, "Oh no, he's talking about Wade." Anyway, so Daddy Dom versus Dragon Lee, obviously because of the fallout from last week's IC title tourney or whatever. And this was a banger match. It might not have been super long. People probably overlooked it, but I'm sorry, Dominic Mysterio has come a long way. This man can hang in the ring, and he put on a great match with Dragon Lee. And I love that Liv Morgan got involved to help her mans get the win. And that is what led to Daddy Dom blowing her a kiss before he did the frog splash, and I'm just here for it. I am obsessed with their dynamic, like just their vibe, everything. I'm obsessed. I enjoyed this very much. That's all I have to say.
I really want to see. Never mind, I lost my train of thought.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Nathaniel said yes, that is very true. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, I didn't super pay attention to NXT when he was in there, so that's the thing. Is like I didn't know.
Yeah,
I just didn't know his voice.
He was like, I was watching his matches, not listening to his backstage promos.
Well,
his matches
like,
in NXT were fucking fuego.
Well, it's like when I sent you that video of Dexter Lumis talking because you had never heard him talk before.
It's Cody Rhodes. That's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that's why I was like, let me find this video for you.
I nail head hammer. That's what we did. That's what we did with this.
We knew that Lyra Valkyria and Selena Vega were going to team up and face off with Pure Fusion Collective. And they had a mystery partner. And it ended up being Natalya, which, of course, we should have known. The show was in Canada.
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying, like, I should have known. Or the rest of us who didn't know should have known because no one's as brilliant as you. I'm saying.
You said it last week.
I didn't say that. I'm saying like the rest of us who were like, oh, who's it going to be? Because I was trying to think. I don't know. It makes sense. It was Natalya. It was in Canada, blah, blah, blah. So they pandered to her, obviously. And they get the win over the PFC, which I don't know how great that is for them. But
heels got to lose. You got to have the heels lose to make them even more hated and whatnot. And you're not going to have Natalya lose in her home country on Bret Hart night, essentially.
Well, like, Beth Phoenix lost the title in her hometown, so that's not really a thing. So, just saying. So did Drew McIntyre. So they literally went to Scotland and he lost.
Yeah, that was on. Okay, never mind.
You know what? You just hate me. I don't know why. Anyway,
I don't think so.
I don't have a whole lot to say about that match, but people like us to talk about everything, so I wanted to make sure that we talk that. And no,
niece.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah, I think they're kind of like the Samoans, where they're all related somehow.
No, Jim is married to Bret Hart's sister.
So technically, they're not like super related. It's like It's like
what?
It's like. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, I'm just saying they don't share a ton of blood, is what I'm saying.
They share a good amount. That's her uncle.
Okay. Anyway, so we see Drew McIntyre come out, and we know that CM Punk is not going to be there because he was bleeding at the mouth and looked real disheveled last week after his rightful beatdown from Drew McIntyre. And unfortunately, Drew decided also to make no sense by claiming that this feud was over. We don't need to do this again, but at least his made sense because he's like, well, I beat him down and he's going to be out for a while. So I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things, to which Adam Pearce said, nah, brother. Okay, no. I've spoken to CM Punk because of course I have. You're just completely following what Drew says, that he is a corporate stooge and kisses all their asses. And that's just made it even more easy for him to say that in the story, because why is he on the phone with Adam Pearce making matches at Bad Blood? I don't know.
He's healing up. Sarah. Okay.
So that's when Pearce announced that no, you guys are still feuding. This isn't over, which shouldn't have been anyway. They're 1-1 because he was like, whoa, I thought after the strap match that this was over. Why? They were 1-1. And if anything, we've seen that Punk actually has gotten the win way more times because of all the times he screwed Drew out of the title. But anyway, he said that Drew McIntyre and CM Punk will go at it again at Bad Blood, but they are going to have the Hell in a Cell match that we all predicted was going to happen. And when I tell you that I am excited,
Yeah,
I
we
can't.
predicted. I'm
Yes,
very happy that we were ahead of this,
yes.
and yeah,
I think it's
good
going to be a
job,
great
us.
match. I just think Drew needs to win. That's all I have to say about it. I think it's going to be a great match. I'm excited because this is a match that, like somebody said on Twitter, it's nice to see that a feud like this makes sense for a Hell in a Cell match instead of them just putting a match in a Hell in a Cell because it's a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
No, this is this stipulation means something.
Yeah, so I think this is very fitting, and I still think that Drew needs to win. But Punk got his yippee-ki-yay moment with the strap match. I think now it's Drew's turn to beat Punk. But yeah, so I think that's going to be exciting. Let's see. Richard still believes that Punk is winning. I don't agree.
Traded to SmackDown for AJ Styles is not a bad idea. I would.
But why would they trade him to SmackDown?
Like, why not? I don't.
But
why?
why?
I don't know why. It is WWE. They just do shit because nonsense. Like,
well, not really. But anyway.
Yeah, they'll tell you later why. But like, what if that just happens out of blue?
I would be like, what the fuck? That's what I would say.
Right. Well, I'm excited because AJ Styles is on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. So,
well, fine. So we also, I mean, this doesn't really mean a whole lot, but I was very excited that Fergie Ferg had a match against Mr. 619 himself, Boyaka 619 Rey Mysterio, and this was a good match, obviously, but it ended, and although it was a controversial ending that would technically result in Rey being the winner, I would say Finn won.
Yeah.
Because he
came out standing. He came out standing. He did.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And to me, that means a lot because Finn doesn't get a lot of wins anymore. And he didn't, it wasn't a tag match. It wasn't anything like that. He was just being a bad guy and making sure he didn't stop when the referee told him to. So I was into it. I liked it. I was glad to see this for Finn because I think that he deserves it. So
I was just kind of like, oh, okay. I get it. Like I did want to see. I didn't want to see Finn win. I wanted him to see at least get the pinfall. I'm happy we didn't have Rey Mysterio go over in Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
Just very happy about that. And this new presentation of Finn in general is on the verge of being done well. So
it was very reminiscent of his old presentation, like with the Tron and like the way he came out and everything. I just loved it. I loved it. I'm like, can we keep going with this? Because Finn could be a big top guy. You just aren't doing the right things to make people think that he is. You know what I mean? But he's more than capable of being that. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we know what happens at Bad Blood. But moving on to the main event, which was the IC title #1 contenders match. So first of all, we got to give credit because who said that Jey Uso was going to win? Everybody, but we said it here also. But also, who said that we were going to get a tsunami? Me. I said that. I said, I don't really understand why Braun Strowman is in this match because he is twice the size of every other dude. He makes no sense.
You did say that. I do.
But I said, what if he's only in this match because Bronson's going to come back and make sure he loses? That is exactly what that man did, and I am so glad. But like I said, they were really banking on him recovering from COVID quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because if that didn't happen, it was like, okay, then what were they going to do? Just have Braun lose? Like, that's not as exciting, I feel like. But
no, the tsunami was executed to perfection. That shit was awesome.
I love Bronson Reed. I don't care. Like, he is so badass.
Tsunami!
I know.
Jumps. Just like he is being presented very well. I'm a fan.
Yes, we got a tsunami. Were you not watching?
He may have fell asleep. Maybe he fall asleep before Raw ends. Okay.
It was, yeah. So this was a great match. But people, of course, were talking about Ilya Dragunov always looking like he's fighting for his life. Man, that's what he does in every match. This dude acts like this is his last match ever. That's how he is every single night. And I personally, I love it because it just shows you how passionate he is about putting on a good match every single night and how passionate he is about wrestling, you know? Like, how many times have you watched a match where it looked like they just didn't want to be there? It's like, unfortunately, you could probably count it on, you know, your hands and toes, your fingers and toes. Sorry. But what I did like leading up to this match was we saw Braun Breaker approach everybody backstage.
Yes.
And I liked that because in the weeks leading up to this, they really only had him talking with Jey Uso. So that was why everybody assumed he was going to win, other than any other assumption that you might have had about why he was going to win. So this made it feel like, okay, no, he's actually like approaching everybody. He's talking to everybody. So maybe there's a chance that it's not going to be Jey. But it was, and they did not announce when that match is going to happen. So it could be at Bad Blood. I assume it's not. I really wouldn't be surprised if it's at a Raw, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a Raw title match,
like
which is fine.
It's not a feud match. So to me, it's like, I don't care, you know, like, if it's on a Raw, because they had Gunther defending the title on Raw. So I feel like that's fine for Braun Breaker.
A lot during his reign. He defended it on Raw.
Yeah. And, I mean, I feel like if they're not going to really have the world heavyweight defended on Raw, which I get, like, you know, then at least have the Intercontinental or like US titles. Yeah. Like those can be on the show. So, but I still think Jay's losing.
I could not agree more. There's no reason. No. Just I'm not wasting my breath more. Yes, of course.
Well, there are people who really think Jey has a shot. There are people who really do think they're going to take the title off Braun Breaker. Simply because Jey has never had a singles title. I was like, that's not enough to take the title off Braun Breaker, guys. That's not enough.
I'm not entertaining the idea.
Yeah. So I hope it's a good match. I've already made my opinions known about Jey Uso. I don't think he's the strongest wrestler, and I'm not 100% sold on this being a great match in both directions because they are so vastly different in the way that they perform, and then of course the age is going to be different. It's just different. So I'm hoping that it's good because we know it's going to be good from Braun Breaker, but it's just like, okay, can Jey hang? You know what I mean?
That's all it is. That's all it is.
What? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, okay, let's get to some of the comments. Jey should win. No, he shouldn't. If Jey loses to Braun, it's not a burial. I wish people saw that. Yeah.
Me too, Dickie. Me too.
Stop it. It is a babyface compared to a heel. You can't compare them. I'm just glad the ending of the match didn't have a Sheamus interference. Yeah.
Me too, Mr. Anderson. Seriously, me too. That's a good observation.
Pate Dunay would have been really mod.
He looks so good. He looks so good in the ring. I'm doing him well.
This is the thing that I think people are forgetting. They're saving Jey for the Bloodline War Games. Yeah. It's like, I get why people who are big fans of Jey Uso like want to see a singles title on him, and I can't blame them. Like, I get it completely. But the timing is off. It doesn't make any sense. So and the thing is it wouldn't make sense to take the title off of Braun Breaker either. So it's like, it's not just, oh, well, Jey should have a title and the timing is wrong. It's like, well, the timing is wrong also because Braun Breaker just became the champion. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
timing matters.
Yeah. So, that was Raw.
That was Raw. It was a really great season premiere. Joe Tessitore, I want to give a shout out here because we didn't have a banner for him, but this seems like the appropriate place to give him a shout out. He's been really good so far. Mm-hmm. Really solid. Roll with the punches. You can tell going from real sports to, this performance, this sports entertainment spectacle that is WWE. He's doing a good job playing the role of outside commentator. with how he's describing different people, specifically the villains and the heels, and
Mm.
he's doing and he has a lot of he has great chemistry with Wade as well. It's been a really good showing to start, and let's keep it going, Joe. We're rooting for you.
Well, I think that you could tell there was like a lot, like he got so much better. Like I don't even think he was bad to begin with, but like you could tell he was so much more comfortable this week. Because he was talking a lot more when he didn't need to, but like he was just the way that they normally do anyway. And he was even like taking digs, like he even said something about the Judgment Day and the tag titles. So like you can tell he's definitely getting, like he's feeling more comfortable in this space.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think it's exciting because I don't hate listening to him at all. So
He lets moments breathe too. There's sometimes in a match that you don't need the commentator to talk over what's going on. You
yeah.
just need to let the wrestling do the talking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And with now this new era of wrestling where you want to hear what they say in the ring, it adds to the story, not you're not eavesdropping on them calling spots. It's nice to let the moment breathe if you're a commentator, and Joe Tessitore does a very good job of that.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
That's Raw, and that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button right down there and bell notification to know every time we go live. And check out those clips. Seriously, Sarah and I called this stuff like a while ago, so go check it out and fact check us because we like to be known. We like to be acknowledged, like a former tribal chief to some. And also, while you're there, go follow the social links in the description below. And that's all we got. Go enjoy NXT. We're about 20 minutes into it, so go enjoy NXT. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember, you can do it. All you got to do is try. See you on Thursday.